Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the next part of chemical bonding, that is valence bond theory, V-beating and hybridization. So let's start. First we'll discuss about the valence bond theory. See, understand what is the meaning of valence. Valence means the outermost electron. So the outermost electron will take part in the chemical bonds. So we'll go through the one by one points. So first point, it is explaining about to form a covalent bond, overlapping occurs between half-filled valence shell orbital of the two atom. You see one of the example I'm taking, let's suppose formation of hydrogen molecule. So as we already know, hydrogen has one electron. So if we'll consider as this is the S subshell and it has one electron, okay? And if we'll consider another half shell, that is hydrogen, another hydrogen atom, it has also another unpaired electron. So they will form and they will combine, that is one H, another H will combine. So there is the combination of valence electron, right? And that are half filled. What is the meaning of half filled? Half filled means if you take one orbital and only one electron is present, this is known as half filled. So next, I think this point is clear to you. Resulting the bond acquire a pair of electron with opposite spin get stabilized. See, what is the meaning of opposite spin? This is the plus half, this is the plus half. So when they will combine, they will have plus half and minus half. Orbital come closer to each other from the direction in the which maximum overlapping takes place. So there is the combination of S and S. So maximum overlapping will take place. So take another example. Let's suppose formation of oxygen molecule. So how the oxygen molecule must have formed, as we already know, one oxygen, another oxygen. So one oxygen has one S, then 2S, then 2P, right? So these two are already filled. 2P, if we distribute the number of electrons, this one is 2, 2, 4. So P orbital, that is half filled. Another oxygen, that is 1, S2, 2S2, 2P, 4. So see, to form the covalent bond, overlapping occurs between half-filled valence electron of the two atoms. Yes, only this half-filled and this half-filled will take part in the formation of bond. So how they are going to form the bond? See, as we already know, P, I'm not doing this one because these are fully filled. Half-filled is, this one is P, and P has 4 electrons, that means 1, 2 and 3. This one is 4. Another, this is also P. So I'm drawing only the half-filled one. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So which are the half-filled? You see, this is the half-filled, this is the half-filled. Half-filled, understand the meaning. This is also half-filled and this is also half-filled. So resulting, we'll talk about the second one, resulting bond acquire a pair of electron with opposite spin. So whenever they will combine, this and this, they will combine, and this and this, they will combine. So they will, after the combination, they will be oppositely spin. Orbital comes closer to each other in the direction of maximum overlapping. So they will be maximum overlap. So after that, what happens? This half filled and this half filled, they will combine, and the resulting will be, already know about the opposite spin. One is plus half, another is minus half. Second one, extent of overlapping is directly proportional to the strength of the chemical bond, as we already know that extent of overlapping. So ppx overlapping is more strength than ps, then more strength than s and s. So that means the bond formed in oxygen is much more stronger than the bond formed in hydrogen. And the bond length, how about the bond length? So bond length in the oxygen is shorter than the bond length in hydrogen. So the valence bond theory is not the proper explanation for molecular overlapping. Why? There's a bigger question. So we have to understand why hybridization come into the picture, why valence bond theory fails to explain the exact bond length and exact structure of the molecule. Hybridization, talking about the hybridization. So we'll take one example. Let's suppose BeCl2. Okay, according to the valence bond theory, if we'll consider the theory as a perfect one, see here what happens. Beryllium, as we already know, beryllium Be. This one is atomic number 4. So 1s2, 2s2. So how many electrons are there in the valence shell? 2. So it has to combine with another 2 chlorine. So what happens? 1 electron jump from S to P. So beryllium in the excited state I'm talking about. So there is 2s1, 2p1. Okay. And it has to combine with chlorine. So outermost, if you'll consider the chlorine in outermost orbital, there is P. So P, if you'll consider, there is one, it has one half filled orbital. So that P is going to combine with S. So now just talk about the chlorine. So chlorine is, if you'll consider the electronic configuration, that is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So there is a 3p5. So 3p5 means this one is p, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is one unpaired electron. So this unpaired electron going to combine with one of the p of B, and another atom is going to combine with S. See here. So that means beryllium has 2 unpaired electron, which is present at 1 electron present at 2s1, another electron present at 2p1. So one of the chlorine atom is combined with the P, another chlorine atom is combined with S. So one overlapping is PP overlapping, another overlapping is SP overlapping. But we already know that PP bond strength is greater than the SP bond strength, right? So we are saying that this bond is more strength than this bond strength. But practically both the bond length and the distance both BCl are same. So practically both the bond lengths are same. That means this VVT theory is failed to explain the exact bond length of the molecule. So there need to be one theory has to be developed so that will exactly explain this concept, why they are having same bond length. So let us just start with this hybridization. Hybridization means mixing of different shape and equal energy. See, write this hybridization. It is mixing of different shape and equal energy of atomic orbital, redistribute of energy to form the new orbital of same shape, size and energy. See, I'm explaining what is the meaning. What is the meaning? Meaning is whenever there is a combination, as we already explained the VBT, okay? So beryllium. Beryllium has again 1s2, 2s2. So this is the inner orbital we are not going to consider because this 1s2 is not going to take part in the bonding. So 2s2 in the excited state, if you are talking about, so one electron jump from 2s2 to 2p orbital. So 1s2, so 2s1, 2p1. So there is one electron present in S and P. So hybridization says that mixing of different shape and equal energy, 2s and 2p has equal energy, atomic orbital, and redistribute of the energy to form a new orbital, same shape and size. So this S and P, they will combine first and they will redistribute that energy into a new set of orbital, which is called hybrid orbital. Okay, so that means S and P, they will combine and they will form sp hybrid orbital. So this sp is going to combine with Cl, another sp is going to combine with Cl. So now see, sp is a new hybrid orbital combined with P, another sp is combined with new P. So I guess this combination of orbital is clear to you. So now we'll go detailedly what is the hybridization and what are the properties. Discuss about the detailed explanation of BeCl2. So as we already know that beryllium This one is 1s2, 2s2. So in the excited state beryllium, only this S will take part in the bonding. So 2s means one box, and after 2s there is 2p. So what happens? 2p is completely empty. So this one is 2s, this is our 2p. So from 2s, one electron will jump to 2p. So how many electrons are present on S? There is 1, and 1 electron has already jumped to p. So this is the excited state of beryllium. Now talking about the chlorine. So chlorine, as you already know that 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So that means this 3p5 will take part in the bonding. So I'm drawing the one chlorine. One is, this is the 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 3p. Okay. So so what happens? Hybridization says about the first, this S and P, they will combine or they will mix first. Okay. So S and P, they will combine, they will form one hybrid orbital. That hybrid orbital is sp hybrid orbital. How it is looks like, you see, this is S, as you already know, this is S, right? And they will combine with P. So this is the, we'll take one of the P. Okay. So there is the combination S and P. After combining, two hybrid orbital. So the hybrid orbital looks like this. It has a small tail, and from one side there will be maximum overlapping. Okay. So how many hybrid orbital that will form? That will form 2, because 2 orbital has combined. So this is the combination of sp. So this is sp, and it will form another sp hybrid orbital. Okay. So this is sp hybrid orbital. This is also sp hybrid orbital. Why this sp hybrid orbital? Because S and P orbital, they have combined. So they have generated a new set of hybrid orbital, that is sp. This also sp. So now say what happens. As you already know that chlorine. So chlorine is, this one is empty orbital. Now the question is, how many electrons are present in this S? 1. In this P? 1. So this sp will have 1 unpaired electron. This will have also 1 unpaired electron. So if we'll talk about the beryllium. So beryllium, already S and P, they have mixed. So I'm putting that S and P. This is beryllium. Beryllium, this is one hybrid orbital. And this is also another hybrid orbital. So this one is sp hybrid orbital. This is also sp hybrid orbital. How many electrons are present on this sp? 1. Here it is 1. Now the approach is chlorine. So as we already know that chlorine, there is no hybridization. Chlorine, this one, this electron is present on the pure atomic orbital of P, and that atomic orbital of P looks like this, isn't it? So this is Cl, another Cl, and this electron is going to combine with this one, and another Cl electron will combine with another Cl. So this is how the structure of BeCl2 is explained. Now BBT theory cannot explain about the bond length between BeCl. Now see, beryllium, this one is sp is combined with P, and this also sp is combined with P. Now see, both the bond lengths are equal. So this explains the hybridization concept. So next we'll discuss about the characteristics of hybridization. So first one, hybridization is mixing of orbital, not electron, correct? As we already shown to the previous, mixing of S and P, or there may be some S, P and P also. So there is the mixing of orbitals, not the electrons. And mainly this hybridization takes place in the central atom. Central atom. So next, number of hybrid orbital formed is always be equal or equivalent to the number of atomic orbital. Yes, correct. How it is? So in the previous slide, we shown that S and P, they are going to combine and they will form sp hybrid orbital. So S and P, 1 and 1, they will combine and they will form 2 sp hybrid orbital, right? Next one, each hybrid orbital has 2 lobes. Yes, this is 2 lobes. One is the larger and another is the smaller. So the hybrid orbital looks like this. See, this one is the smaller part and this is the larger part. So the overlapping will take place from the larger part only, not the smaller part, as we already shown in the previous slide, that showing the beryllium, right? So it has a tail and a head. So overlapping will take place from this larger part only. And the types of overlapping, you can say that there are various types, and the type SP, SP2, SP3, SP3D, SP3D2 and SP3D3. So how this SP has formed? The combination of S and P. Here it is S, P and P, that means 2P has combined. Here it is SP3, that means 3P has combined. Here it is SP3, 3P and 1D, and so on. So next, we have to calculate the hybridization. So there are 2 methods to calculate the hybridization. First method we have to learn. So the first method says about the count all the segment around the central atom. So as I already told you, what is this sigma and what is this lone pair, right? Lone pair, what is this lone pair? Let us talk about the water molecule. So water is this, and Lewis dot structure is this, right? So what is the meaning of lone pair? See, these 2 electron is known as lone pair. These 2 electrons are lone pair, or simply LP. And these 2 electrons, as they have bonded, we'll call it as bond pair. Now I think it is clear. Sometimes the question may ask you how many lone pairs are there. So how many lone pairs are there? 2. Okay. So we have to calculate or count sigma bonds, and we have to count the number of lone pair to the central atom. Okay. At the sigma lone pair, sum will be number called steric number. So what is the steric number? Steric number is equal to sigma bond, total number of sigma bond plus total number of lone pair. So you just count the total number of sigma and total number of lone pair. If the steric number, if the result is 2, the steric number is 2, that means hybridization is sp. Steric number 3, sp2. 4, sp3. How you can remember? See, 2 means 1 plus 1, s1, p1, 1 plus 1, 2. 3 means S1, P2, 2 plus 1, 3. Here it is 4 means S1, P3, 3 plus 1, 4. Here it is 1, 3 plus 1, 5. So similarly, if you just know the steric number, you can calculate the hybridization. That's very, very easy. Okay, let's try to solve these 4 problems. Be beryllium. How can we do that? As we know that beryllium has 2 electrons in its outermost shell. So this 1, 2 electron. Now chlorine is going to share 1 electron. So this is Cl, this is Cl. So how many sigma bonds are there? 2 sigma. 2 sigma bond means sp hybridization. And is there any lone pair? 0. So steric number is 2, hybridization is sp. Now coming to the NH3. As you already know that nitrogen has 5 electron in its valence shell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hydrogen is going to take 1 electron. So how many electron it will take? 3 electron. So 3 atom, 3 electron. First you have to calculate the steric number. What is the steric number? Steric number is 1 lone pair and 1, 2, 3, 3 sigma. So lone pair is 1 plus sigma is 3 sigma. Total is 4. What is the hybridization? sp3. Next one is water. Oxygen has 6 electron in its outermost shell. So this is 6 electron. Hydrogen is going to share 1 electron. So How many lone pair? 2. How many sigma? 2. Total is 4. 4 means sp3. So steric number is 4. Hybridization is sp3. Next one is CH4, methane, carbon. Carbon is 4 electron in its outermost shell. So hydrogen is going to share 1 electron. 4 electrons are there. So total how many sigmas are there? 4 sigma, lone pair 0, steric number 4, hybridization sp3. Second one we have to discuss method number 2. Second method can be described as hybridization can be calculated as half into total number of valence electron in the central atom plus total number of monovalent. What are these monovalent? Just like hydrogen are the monovalent. Oxygen is divalent, whereas fluorine is the monovalent. Charge on cation. If the whole radical is positive charge, then you have to take that much charge. Charge on the anion, that means whole radical is negative charge. That means you have to take that charge. Based on this, let us try to solve the first problem. First one is ammonium ion, NH4 plus. So hybridization is half total number of valence electron. Nitrogen valence electron is 5 plus total number of monovalent. How many monovalent atoms are there? 4. So plus 4 plus minus charge on the cation. Charge on cation, is this cation charge? Yes. So minus 1 plus charge on the anion. What is the charge? Is it anion? No, negative charge not there. So plus 0. So what is the total? That is 1 by 2, 8. This will be 4. So steric number is 4. What is the hybridization? sp3. So here it will be fluorine, 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 fluorine. So 1 by 2. What is the valence electron of sulfur? 6 plus total number of monovalent 4 minus charge on cation or anion. Both are 0, I guess. There is no positive or negative charge. Both are 0. So this one is 5. So 5 means if steric number is 5, so what is the hybridization? sp3d. And you can also say about using the first method, how many sigma bonds are there? 4 sigma, 1 lone pair. That means 5 also. That is sp3d. Next one is sulfate ion. Sulfate ion is sulfur is having 6 electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One oxygen will take these 2 electron. Another oxygen will take these 2 electron. And another 2 oxygen left. One will take 1. Another will take 1. And it will have negative charges. So 2 minus charge means 1 minus charge and 2 minus charge. So now calculate the hybridization. Hybridization is 1 by 2 half into total number of valence electron of sulfur, that is 6 in the central atom, plus total number of monovalent. Is there any monovalent atom? No. That means plus 0 minus charge on the cation. Minus charge on the cation. Is there any cation positive charge is present? 0. Plus charge on the anion. What is the charge on anion? 2. So this one is 2. So if you'll calculate 8 by 2, 4. So if steric number is 4, that means what is the hybridization? sp3. Using the first method, see this one is pi, this one is pi, right? So 1 sigma, 2 sigma, 3 sigma, 4 sigma. 4 sigma, there is no lone pair. So that is also steric number 4. Next, nitrate ion. So the nitrate ion structure is nitrogen, double bond, oxygen, negative charge. This will have positive charge. Here it will be negative charge. So 1 positive and 2 negative. What is the net charge? That is minus, right? So let us find out the hybridization. Hybridization is 1 by 2. Valence electron is 5. Is there any monovalent atom? No. That means plus 0. Total number of monovalent atom is 0 minus charge on cation. See, what is the meaning of charge on cation? You can think of this charge on cation as the whole radical charge. Okay. So is it positive or negative? This is positive, right? And cationic charge means you see the radical is positive or negative. So as there is negative charge, so minus charge on cation. So this is not a cation, right? And this will be then plus minus 0 plus charge on anion or negative charge. So what is the negative charge? That is 1. You just calculate it. So 6 by 2, that is 3. So 3 means hybridization is sp2. Okay. You can also say using the first method, that is how many sigma bonds are present. 1, 2, and 3. 3 sigma bonds are present. That means hybridization is sp2. I hope these concepts are clear to you. Please subscribe the AidCam channel, and you can connect with me with my social media account. My Instagram account is this and my Twitter handle is this. Thank you for watching the video.